So you've got a software startup, but you want to know how can you hire great people? How can you actually go about sourcing great people? I've done a video talking about some of the things to consider in that talent, but now we're going to talk about how do you actually source that talent. Now, there's really a couple of different core ways to think about this. One of them is building your own personal brand to attract best-in-class talent. And I often feel that this is the ideal way, but if you're coming from ground zero, it can take time. So it's not necessarily a way that's going to get you from naught to the outcome quickly. So if you are really early stage with your startup, potentially, at that $0 to $1 million mark in annual recurring revenue, and you can have some form of patience in making sure that you find the right person. The best thing that you can do is start to invest in building a brand, starting to put out content on a platform, ideally like LinkedIn, where you start to share more about the journey of your company. So share what you're building, the mission, the vision, how you're thinking about what you're going to build, why it's transformative for your space and your industry. Get people excited about what you're building and start to bring them along on that journey with you. The more that you can do this and the more effective you can be at doing this, you will start to attract your tribe. You'll start to attract talent, salespeople, operational people, HR people across the board who just think, I want to work for this person. I want to be a part of this journey. And so the more effectively you can share content, share more about what you're doing, and basically build in public, the better. Because if you continue to lean into that, people will start to, you'll start to kind of find your tribe online. And that is, I found, one of the best ways to attract great talent, because that talent will come to you. And when they're coming to you, there's really something in that, because they want to work for you. They want to be a part of this journey. I anticipate that that's really going to help from a retention standpoint and just in attracting great people. The second way to go about it is you going outbound to the market. And so generally what you find is quite often great salespeople especially, they are likely often already in roles. So you've got to now go on your front foot to try and actually attract that talent. To do this, there's no real secret, right? You've got to go and do your research, figure out the most prolific companies in your space and reach out initially just for a conversation. And try and frame that conversation not in necessarily just a direct way to say, I want to hire you, but, be honest and say, look, I've had a little look at what you've done or your profile or your background, or I've heard a little bit about you. I'd love to just have an open conversation to get to know each other a little bit more, share more about our stories and our journeys, and tell you a bit more about what we're building, just so you're aware of it for future reference or in case it's of interest in the near term. So you can be pretty open and honest and candid, but without just sending a message that says, I've got this job, I want you for the job. Because you also need to get to know that person. You want to make sure that they are the right fit. They might be the right fit on paper, but now you've got to put them through a process, get to know each other, and make sure that you feel good about their ability to contribute and vice versa. And so you've really only got two main plays. You either create a circumstance where talent comes inbound to you, or you create a circumstance where you go out to market to attract that talent by making a play. You've got to do the volume, you've got to do the research if you're going outbound, but it can happen quicker. You can get to that talent quicker, but the inbound play can take longer, but you have a higher propensity to probably get the type of people that you want. The other way that we haven't really touched on much is, of course, you can just post a job, filter through applicants and CVs and hope for the best. Of course, there are circumstances where you can find someone half decent, but typically in the current market, it's really difficult to find great people that way. If you go on LinkedIn and look at the average job, most of them nowadays, 100 plus applicants. Some of them, they're getting into the thousands. It's pretty insane. So when you're starting to think about how do I find someone who's best in class, I find you're often going to have a real hard time trying to do that just by putting a job out there and filtering through CVs. But it is another method that you can add to your list if time allows. But it's not really the one that I typically recommend in the current market. I hope this video has been helpful in some way. If it has, please do like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you want to get in touch for some support on any of the topics, that I cover on this channel or on my profile, just check out the comment section, check out my LinkedIn profile or the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.